Talking about right now when they talk about bullets in the ceiling is a man named Captain Mark Vandroff with the U.S. Navy. He apparently was in Building 197 when the shooting happened. We have Captain Vandroff live with us now on Studio B. And Captain, we kind of heard from our Fox affiliate there a little bit of your story, but tell us exactly what happened while you were in Building 197 today.
So I was in a conference room on the third floor of Building 197. It's the conference room that's next to my office. I was in a meeting with members of my staff, a very routine morning meeting. And a little after 8, we heard a loud noise and really didn't think anything of it. A few minutes later, we heard what was definitely gunfire. Someone from further away down the floor shouted, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something about either shooting or gunmen or something like that. Someone with presence of mind, and when I find out who it is, I'm going to thank him or her, closed the doors to our office area. Our office area has got another layer of security, and there's lockable doors before you get to where our office is and the conference room is. Once those doors were closed, everyone either went into the interior offices or into the conference room where I was. We got down on the floor as low as we could and started to barricade ourselves in with tables, doors, just to try and stay in place and stay as safe as we could. A little while later, while we were on the floor, we heard what was definitely a gunshot, a very loud shot, and then when we looked up in the not the ceiling, but near the ceiling in the walls of the conference room we were in, we saw bullet holes. Then we didn't hear a lot of gunfire after that for several minutes. There was a few rounds of gunfire after that. And by then it was after 9. We stayed in place. Most of the time we spent texting each other. I was trying to get information on where other people who work for me. There's about 60 people in Building 197 who work for me. And so my deputy and I were trying to text them, ascertain if they were all safe, and then report that up my chain of command. At a little after 10, the room where we were at was entered by uniformed police officers. They took us out and escorted us out of Building 197, and then we were in a different part of the Navy Yard for the rest of the afternoon, either being interviewed by police, tended to as far as like people needed water or something to eat, and then we were held in a conference room in one of the buildings until they determined it was safe for us to leave the Navy Yard, and then we were escorted off and walked out the front gate.
Yeah, Captain Vandroff, your story is both horrifying and riveting at the same time. I know you heard a number of gunshots there, and you know in the investigation right now they're looking for a potential second shooter. Captain, in all the shots you heard, did it seem to you that the shooter had more than one weapon, or could you tell?
I was not in a position to tell definitively. I'm not a ballistics expert by any stretch of the imagination, so I would prefer not to speculate. I definitely heard gunfire. I heard gunfire multiple times, but I couldn't speculate on either how many weapons or number of shooters or that. I didn't see anything. All I heard what was going on outside the conference room we're in, so there's no way that I could reliably convey to you any information about that.
Captain Vandroff, well, I'm glad to see you're safe, and please thank that other hero you mentioned earlier for us as well. It should be noted, Captain Mark Vandroff. Thank you, sir.